Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Miguel.
And Michelle.
And this time we're going to take a look at Michelle's version of the Queen of Sheba. Or is it Queen or whatever?
Queen of Sheba.
Queen of Sheba.
There. Okay. Cool.
So as we talked about before, she is a legendary queen who's often taken as like a sort of second person along with King Solomon. Because everyone knows King Solomon, well, most people know King Arthur. But then there's also King Solomon, but then there's also Queen of Sheba, which she is mentioned in legend, in the Bible, the Talmud, along with the legend of King Solomon and their stories. But in terms of representation, she's often just looked at as, the woman in the pair, in the ship, the Solomon ship, the Sheba, Sala Sheba, one ship.
Stop.
Whatever. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at Michelle's version, and we're going to discuss like what inspired her to develop her version of Queen of Sheba.
Actually, I didn't even know Queen of Sheba was in association with King Solomon, so I guess it's interesting to me that I've came across her name more so than King Solomon. So that's where I differ a little bit from my brother, who's a little bit of a nerd in the field of religion and humanities. But I can't quite remember where I heard Queen of Sheba, but it just came up. And it's kind of cool because when I Googled her, like whatever images that came up, Halle Berry is the one that comes up a lot. She appears as Queen Sheba in the 1995 film
Solomon and Sheba,
which I have not seen, but she looks super pretty. And so you may kind of see that I was a little inspired by her dress that she wore. Because again, I'm not so familiar with the legends of King Solomon and Queen of Sheba, but I know it's more in relation to like the Bible, the Jewish religion, and in general the Middle East. And so I wanted to kind of stick to that kind of aesthetic in terms of culture design. So another thing I found was there was like a Barbie doll of Queen of Sheba, and it's pretty like, how should I say, like a little too sexy for a Barbie doll. So I may have took a little bit of design of that as well. Based on what I looked up on Queen of Sheba, she again is associated with King Solomon, but the reason why she's a very more interesting character to me, aside the fact that she was mentioned in the Bible and other books and stuff, that she was known to have ruled a kingdom, which is, I guess, unusual during her time. Not many lands were controlled by or reigned by a woman. I guess that's partly why she's a big name, a household name. She should be known to have a lot of jewelry, riches, and even spices. Like that was like a big deal. One of the stories that, if you don't read the Bible, she supposedly visits King Solomon with all the gifts and stuff, and then she leaves. Like that's literally it. In other depictions, she's known to be the wife or the lover of King Solomon, but I'm not so focused on that. I like the idea that she literally came up and said, here's my gift for you, and then I'm out. So in respects to King Solomon. The way I depicted her for this character design, I wanted that this is where she's like coming into the court or something like that. And yeah, I wanted her to have not so full of gold and stuff. Like I actually want her to be more down to earth, like quite literally, and then have like these beads that I saw like on the Barbie doll. Another cool description of her is that she was known to be beautiful, so I really wanted that femininity pull through in her design. And so that's why I made her hair look super long and like just fluff.
I mean, aesthetically it really matches the rest of her dress. The fact that her hair is that big. And
again, like I referenced Beyonce and Miguel's other videos, so I may have been like inspired by her. Like yeah. Strong women.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I have to say, yeah, great job in the design, and it just flows naturally. It goes back to how, well, I mean, these are characters from the Middle East, so there's going to be this pattern of loose clothing. It's all flowy and loose and comfortable, very graceful, and I definitely see this in this version. So I guess compared to mine, with my King Solomon and my Queen of Sheba, it's very rigid, very Western. And so Michelle's take is making sure it's culturally derivative, and so there's going to be this flowy, graceful, humble kind of tone to it, and that's really a nice like contrast to mine.
I was fascinated about how Queen of Sheba is depicted in like the arts and film, and it's kind of interesting because I wasn't sure how mainstream her character is, and so there is the latest TV series called American Gods.
Oh, right.
Based on Neil Gaiman's American or America? American Gods.
American Gods,
and
yeah.
Queen of Sheba is depicted as one of those gods, but like under a different name. I have not seen the show, but that's why I've just heard.
It's very weird. Really good, but really weird.
Oh, you've seen it?
But yeah, I mean, I read the book. I used to be a big
Gotcha.
Neil Gaiman fan. And this is just another example how certain marginalized figures are finally becoming represented, but it's still within like the American lens. But you know, that's fair. It's a good start. No one's ever heard of Queen of Sheba, but there she is in American Gods. So it's a start. And I have to say, not to put your work on a pedestal, but it's great that we have this depiction of Queen of Sheba. And this is pretty much how I would envision it. You know, like not so much the American Gods version, but this would be like the next step of how I think we should have these iconic women of color from history. You know, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but when you look at it, it's like, the Middle East, a woman of color, you know, dark skin.
This was fun. I really liked this prompt. I'm glad Miguel obviously chose King Solomon and Queen of Sheba as a challenge, so this is really cool to me. So
all right, and we'll see you on the next one. So let us know in the comments what you think. Oh, and let us know if you can fight this character and who do you think would win.
I didn't even say that.
Yeah. So
all right, we'll see you guys around.